Hello, guys. Man, been a rocky road. Was unable to sleep. Yeah, having bad dreams, and but when I'm awakened, let's discuss about the potential topic. Like when we have the case of UFC Hall of Famer Jens Pulver, which really much came to fruition this time. Looked like a great piece of play for Jens Pulver. And from what I've seen, I wasn't expected that. Yeah, I'm very happy. Been a big fan of Jens Pulver, one of rare people, rare UFC champions to compete at UFC and Pride both at the first place, and to win titles at both organizations. But did Makhachev really cheat? Oh yeah, oh yeah, man. Volkanovski's team says that they have proof that Makhachev was cheating, and I wouldn't be surprised by that. I really wouldn't be surprised by the fact that Volkanovski might have been right about that because when it comes to Makhachev, don't be surprised. Just don't be surprised and don't be shy. These guys, they're always ready for everything to become title owners, and we've seen a change in pound for pound rankings as Makhachev overtook Alexander Volkanovski, despite Volkanovski won that match fair and square. Unfortunately, didn't go well. So I'm really wondering whether Makhachev was really cheating or it's just some kind of a sick joke. But I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised because that's the type of the opponent he is. Many people like to do everything they can just to win the title, everything they can for the trail of glory. And Makhachev, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked at all to see Makhachev cheating to win the belt and to win the strap, and that's not going to be a massive surprise to me in the first place, as I've seen Volkanovski's interview with Ariel Helwani where he said that he won the fight fair and square, where he said that round 5 was pretty much 10-8 round. And I agree to all of that. I definitely agree to all of that. But there is one thing I heavily disagree in this case, and that is the case with Islam Makhachev winning the fight. I will never be able to go through it, to get through it, and to say that the fight was won fair and square. But am I happy because James Pulver was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame? Oh yeah, yeah, I am. This is one of the best moments the world has ever seen. As Jens Pulver really deserved it. Like being a UFC champ, being a champ in Pride FC, and competing at all those organizations. It just, it's just a reason to remember. It's just a reason to say that he is the greatest, the best, the most amazing name the world has ever seen. I'm so happy that Jens Pulver was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame because he deserved it. He deserved the promotion. He deserved to get credits, and he deserved to get title for his achievements. I really do believe that inducting Jens Pulver into the UFC Hall of Fame has been one of the greatest decisions UFC could have ever made. And in the first place, I'm hoping that Jens Pulver is going to stay there forever, like one of the modern pioneers of the sport. Sorry, cause of the lack of light, but my parents are still sleeping, and I'm at them right now. And this was the best moment ever. But the question is, did Islam Makhachev really cheat? Did Islam Makhachev really use the illegal advantage to win the title? These are going to be questions that will be answered in the days to come or in the months to come. But at some point, I do believe the rematch has to happen. I do believe that Volkanovski deserves a rematch, and I do believe he deserves a chance to fight his opponent one more time because he really did a great job. I mean, that was one of the super close fights, and no matter how you score it, one sooner or later you are going to say that Volkanovski had pretty much decent chances and that Volkanovski did what he can to win the title. Unfortunately, judges gave it to Islam Makhachev, which might not have been the greatest call they could have made, which is not the call I agree in the first place. I definitely don't agree with that call in the first place. But you can't protest judges' scorecards. You can't do much against judges' scorecards. How can I react to this? I am reacting to this by saying that I heavily disagree. I am reacting to the potential cheating accusations by saying that there is a huge chance that Makhachev was cheating. Never been a fan of that guy, and I wouldn't be surprised, like with syringes and all those stuff. When you take a look at his skin, and when you take a look at the MMA Guru's video where he's talking about facts, I can say that there is a huge possibility that Islam Makhachev was cheating at that moment, and that Islam Makhachev was cheating to defeat Alexander Volkanovski. But if Makhachev was featherweight, Volkanovski would have pieced him up. I've seen what Volkanovski was saying about that in an interview with Ariel Helwani, and I can't agree more. I can't agree more with him. I do believe it. He is 100% right about that. I do believe Volkanovski. I do believe Volkanovski would have won that fight. I believe Volkanovski would have won that fight fair and square, and so I believe he looked scared to some point. Yeah, he looked how to say, at least scared at some point. At some point, he was looking really, really scared, and at some point, we've seen the case of we've seen the case of Islam Makhachev behaving differently. I do believe that guy was super scared because there was a huge, huge chance that he might have lost the fight, and he was trying to use illegal techniques to get the advantage of it. Yes, there is a solid chance that he was trying to use illegal techniques to get the best of it, to get the most of it, and that he was pretty much unfair to win the title because, at the end of the day, title is the only thing that matters, and that's a professional sport. Like in a professional sport, there are no space for mistakes, there are no space for losses. And there are some dopes that are not discovered yet. For example, you have the case of gene doping. You know, when you when you converse the other one's genes, but syringes and this, well, we've seen the case of Greg Hardy who was inhaling between the rounds. And did Makhachev do the same? When I rewatched the MMA Guru's video, he's talking facts. So, to some point, it perfectly makes sense that fact that Makhachev was cheating and the fact that Makhachev was doing something wrong to win the title and to stay on the top of the division. I believe he did because he's just a shade of Khabib Nurmagomedov. He will never be Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he will never be the most dominant champ in the history of the competition. That's simply not going to come to fruition when it comes to the case of Islam Makhachev. And when people ask me, Vlad, do you believe that Makhachev was cheating? Do you believe that he did what he did to become the champion? I say, yeah. Judges helped him a lot because, in the first place, judges didn't know the rules. They obviously didn't know the rules because round one was pretty much fair and square victory. Fair and square victory for Alexander Volkanovski. Round 5 was 10-8, so in the first place, judges helped you a lot, man. Now, round 2 was pretty much close round. Sorry, I'm sick. Round 2 was pretty much close round, and it could have gone either way around, but I gave round 2 to Alexander Volkanovski. Round 3, round 4, they were very much clean wins for Islam Makhachev, and especially round 4. I had no dilemma. Round 3 could have been close to some point, but I see Volkanovski didn't win round 3 and round 4. The next thing I want to pinpoint is the unfair treatment towards every single fighter here. Like they were probably trying to make a compensation, and this is my theory. You will say this is my conspiracy theory or my conspiracy theory, but it has some good points, because Zubaira Tukhugov was robbed against Els Brenner. Zubaira Tukhugov won 2 rounds fair and square, and that's something. 3 минути još. Kratko ću još 3 minute. So he won 3 rounds. Zubaira Tukhugov won 2 rounds fair and square. So I think they were trying to compensate. Like, oh yeah, we robbed Tukhugov, and now we don't want even greater scandal, and we are going now to give Makhachev victory because of his control, because of his Dagestani fighting style. And you made even greater scandal because you knew nothing. By trying to stay away from the scandal, you made even greater scandal, judges. You made even greater scandal because everybody with a half a brain knows that Volk won that fight. Everybody who knows a bit about fighting, they know that Volkanovski won that fight, or at least the fight could have ended in a draw. So you can't criticize anybody when he says the fight could have ended in a draw. And the judge who gave 4-1 or 49-46 to Islam Makhachev, that judge should have been fired instantly. Like they changed the judges who gave advantage to Zubaira Tukhugov. They should have released or sacked the judge who gave 4-1 to Islam Makhachev, because it means Makhachev won rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4. And round 5 was 10-9 in the favor of Volkanovski. How? 57 clean strikes to 70 clean strikes. More of a control time, yes. Great takedown defense by Volkanovski, yes. Great takedown offense by Makhachev. Yeah, man, but majority of his takedowns were stuffed, and Volkanovski was able to keep the fight on the feet for the majority of time. So, what can I say about that? I'm pretty much unhappy, and now to make a conclusion, Alexander Volkanovski should have been the champ, and that change in pound for pound ranking, that overtaking by Islam Makhachev, it's totally unfair. Now I'm super happy because Jens Pulver was inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame, and I believe that Islam Makhachev was cheating. I really do believe to all the point that the guy was cheating, and that Volkanovski's team is talking facts. Because when you take a look at his body, when you take a look how he fought, and when you take a look at his amazing levels of cardio, and that's the guy who has never fought for 5 rounds, and Volkanovski took part in 5-round wars on many occasions. We've seen Alexander Volkanovski taking part in 5-round wars. But when have you seen Islam Makhachev taking part in 5-round wars? Never, right? And he showed a brutal, amazing levels of cardio in those fights. That's something that simply can't go. You can't persuade me that you didn't cheat, man. And I hope the commission is going to do their job. I hope the commission is going to suspend this cheater, because he doesn't deserve the belt. Volkanovski won that fight fair and square, and I'm trying to be realistic. I'm trying to be as realistic as I can. Yes, man, you won the title, but you won unfair and unsquare, and I believe the rematch has to happen at some point, especially with all those info, especially with all the facts that are backing down the MMA Guru's theory and Alexander Volkanovski's team theory. I hope that fight is going to come to fruition sooner or later. Alright, let's catch you later. Need to get some sleep also. Have a great day, everyone.